Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you've just joined us, welcome to TIO Stadium for the NTFL qualifying final with St Mary's up against Wanderers. Before play gets underway, AFLNT and the Northern Territory Football League would like to take this time to thank their premier partners, TIO, the Northern Territory Government and the Australian Government. We'd also like to acknowledge our NTFL sponsors and partners, Kazanga's Palmerston Club, Carlton United Breweries, Impex, Coca-Cola, Towards Zero, Intersport, No More, Bridge Toyota and Sharon, and thank you to our media partners, 7 News Darwin, NT News, Mix 1049, Hot 100, Kick Digital and NITV. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, why not grab a finals series pass? This means you'll be able to gain access to all the finals around the grounds in Darwin. That includes the TIO NTFL Grand Final here at TIO Stadium in just a few weeks' time. And of course, don't forget, throughout the game, you can head up to the kiosk and grab something to eat and drink. The kiosk serves everything from hot chip pies to fresh sandwiches and fruit. Once again, play getting underway very shortly here at TIO Stadium. It's St Mary's up against Wanderers.
Well, good evening and welcome to TIO Stadium for the Men's Premier League qualifying final between St Mary's and Wanderers in the 2020-21 TIO NTFL season. My name's Liz Cruz, and joining me in the commentary box, Stu Davis and Ricky Nolan. Welcome, fellas. This should be a cracking game.
Thanks, Liz. Should be. We just saw a good game as well in the elimination final, and looking forward to this one, Ricky.
Should be a ripper. Watched these two last week, and it wasn't a ripper, but I was around to Braden McLean during that game. He said Wanderers will bring 8 players into the side this week. So finals footy's different, and seen Wanderers Football Club turn it around very, very quickly in the past.
And of course, the winner of this game will play Nightcliff in semi-final 2 next week, while the loser will play Waratah, who just won the previous game. So lots on the line here. We'll get it underway with Stu Davis and the call.
Waiting for the bounce now. It's Priest in the ruck for Wanderers, up against Grenfell for St Mary's. Grenfell reaches over the top, hits this one out. Nick Yarran coming in off the wing pretty hard, laid the tackle, falls in the hands of Grenfell over to Lant. Jack Lant drives the ball forward for Saints into the right forward pocket. McLean in there, looked like he got grabbed. Play on's the call. McLean picks up now and clears to the outer side of the ground, but only as far as Lockie Taylor out there, and he's looking to move the ball quickly into the corridor, decides to go long to the top of the goal square instead. Now Robinson in best position, but goes through his hands. Jack Lant runs onto it, gets his beat to the ball, and Zelio Casemiro, desperate work on the line, just got his hand to it to rush her behind.
Look pretty lively, Saints early, good centre clearance, and getting their hands on the ball, and I think Wanderers have had a possession, or they've had 1 possession so far.
So McLean bringing it in for Wanderers to the outer side of the ground. Dre Thompson bursts through and throws it on his boot, advances it around the outer wing. Cabillo in the contest there. Comes out now to Vizza, and Wanderers going deep into attack. Brett Eddy attacks the ball on the second grab. Looks like he's held on to that one, and the mark's paid.
This is the guy that worries me if I was a St Mary's person. He is a superstar, this guy, Brett Eddy, and try and be... if I was Wanderers coach, Shannon Motlop would be trying to get the ball, get him isolated and get the football to him in a one-on-one situation as much as we can.
So Eddy coming in, won the medal for the leading goal kicker in the league, and his kick's on the way, looks good. Goal umpire doesn't move, and Wanderers with the quick reply get themselves on the board.
Well, as you said, he's won the Dennis Dunn goal kicking award for this season with 68 goals. He's played 150 games in the SANFL for South Adelaide and Port Adelaide, and he also won the SANFL leading goal kicker in 2016 and 17. So he certainly knows how to kick a goal. And 2-minute mark of the first quarter here at TIO Stadium, it is Wanderers drawing first blood.
So Ricky, Jackson Payne back in the side this week. Hasn't played since Christmas, I don't think. Is that a worry?
Yeah, it's a massive worry. I think he is a gun, and he's probably nearly their best player last year. So, but it would be hard to come up to these conditions into a final. Finals is just another step up. You turned up today, couldn't get a car park, big crowd.
Massive crowd.
Manor for Wanderers drives them forward again. Eddy underneath this one.
Ooh.
And it's a free kick against Raf Clark there. I think it's Simpson, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the advantage with deep entry. It just puts the defenders under pressure. I thought it was a bit of a 50-50, a bit touchwood, but that's what happens when you get the ball in nice, deep and quick into the forward line. He's got a fair resume. Eddy Simpson plays for East Perth and Claremont. There's a ruckman there. He's played quite a lot of waffle footy, so big pickup for the Wanderers Football Club.
Yeah, it's interesting that they use him mainly forward. Kicks on the way, no problem at all. They've got 2 on the board and looking good. They're looking dangerous, those tall forwards, and they're a pretty good combination, Simpson and Brett Eddy.
Yeah, as you said, experience with Claremont and East Perth, and first NTFL season here playing for Wanderers, but lots of waffle experience. So 3.5-minute mark of the first quarter here at TIO Stadium. It is Wanderers 2 straight goals leading St Mary's, just the one behind.
Funny footy club Wanderers, Stewie, I reckon. Like, I can remember when we were coaching Saints, I think it was my first year, we beat Wanderers round 18 by 100 and something points. In the first final, I think we were 2 goals down at three-quarter time. They can turn things. They're a football club that can turn things around very, very quickly. It's
one of the greatest football rivalries there for a few years, wasn't it, Rick?
So Wanderers with the clearance again. Vizza going in hard, and bodies flying everywhere. Bizzer again gets it out to McFarlane, hands it over to Cabillo, who's caught with the ball, manages to get the hand pass out the back to Manor. Manor hooks around the corner and inside 50 again. Ball on the ground now, Hams for Saints, just hoofs it high in the air. There's plenty of Wanderers players around this one, but they've given away a free kick here, and Jack Lant wants a 50-metre penalty. He's not getting it, but he gets the free kick.
Umpires tonight, Sam Wood, Jamison Galbraith and Sam Cunningham in the green.
Tristan Josh Cabillo, Wanderers have mainly played him forward all year. You know, he's made his name as one of the best on ballers outside the AFL, playing for Sturt and Aberfeldy over the years. And playing him forward, but I suppose they've got some really good forwards, some really good midfielders in McFarlane and Light to come in this year.
Throw in Grenfell in the front position, wins a hit out, and Ferreira for Saints drives it forward, but that's straight into the hands of Brodie Newman at half-back. He hands it off to his captain McLean. McLean looking to go to the outer side, but looks like he's picked out Taylor again on the outer side.
I'll get him on the rebound here.
So Ted Castle out wide, having trouble picking it up the first occasion, gets it now, chips inside and finds Paredes inside forward 50.
Lockie Taylor's on fire already early, Rick.
I like that he marked that footy because they were away Wanderers, and then they were able to get him on the rebound.
So Paredes goes goalwards, but just dragged that one, and another behind for Saints. Early in this first quarter, no goals on the board for Saints, and just wasted a couple of opportunities going forward. McLean goes to the outer side again, picks out McFarlane at half-back. A workhorse McFarlane playing in the midfield. He's been one of the stars of the competition this year. He chips inboard, that's a dangerous one, and it's a turnover, and Robinson comes in for Saints, hooks around the corner, but that's not his best effort, and sitting under that was Brenton Motlop.
It's going to start to hurt Wanderers with these turnovers. It's great to turn the footy over, but then you just got to put a little bit of pain on the scoreboard.
Jack Long in the forward line for St Mary's, Rick.
Yeah, interesting. I think he's an elite kicker of the football. We'll see how he goes.
He kicked a goal last week, so...
McFarlane, good use of the ball, finds Priest in front of the grandstand on the wing out here. He looking to play on now. Kicks high down towards half forward. Raph Clark sitting under this one. Gets his hands to it, but knocked out of his hands by Simpson. Simpson follows
Bates,
up.
they won't catch him.
And Bates slams through Wanderers' third goal. And terrific work there by Simpson, going back with the flight of the ball. Just got his fist to it as Raph thought he had that one wrapped up.
Anyone that's watched territory footy in the last few years know that if Simon Bates is running into a goal, Rick, with the ball, you won't catch him.
Yep, you're not wrong. I think 10 years ago, 2010-11, he ripped a finals series to shreds and was nearly best on ground in the grand final. So 10 years later, sort of recaptured that sort of form this year. He's had a pretty good year.
He became a father a month or so ago to little Dusty, so maybe that's what's reinvigorated him. So 7-minute mark of the first quarter, Wanderers 3 straight goals to St Mary's, just the 2 behinds.
Jack Long in the middle now. It's Grenfell goes up. Play on's the call, advantage, and it's Jack Lant with a couple of bounces, runs to 50, but just had pressure put on him as he went to kick, and Brenton Motlop chops that one off, kicks high to the outer side. He hasn't got many teammates out there. It's picked up by Robinson, gets it back now, and hand passes inboard to Dylan Lant. Dylan Lant looking to chip it inside forward 50, looking for Calder here, but...
he had 2 players on at the top of the 50-metre arc, Rick, calling for it.
Yeah, went for the short option, and who's the centre-half back there? Stu's had an amazing year.
Oh, yeah, Newman.
Newman,
yeah.
Killed the footy.
Yep.
More than killed the footy, he put it about 6 rows back. It was very well done.
So the boundary throw-in. Grenfell wins this one out, looking for Robinson there, eventually falls into his hands, gives it off to Ferreira. Ferreira chips it in, and Sean Edwards uses his body well and takes a contested mark directly in front, about 30 metres out.
Thought he was close to Saints' best last week, Sean, so if you can recapture that sort of form, it's really going to help Saints, but they need this one, Sean. Really needs to concentrate Essendon, Sydney and Greater Western Sydney AFL football.
Edwards kicks on the way, it's straight through the middle, and Saints are on the board, and they certainly needed that one after Wanderers scored the first 3 goals of the game.
Yeah, great work by Sean Edwards there. As you said, a former AFL player, but St Mary's Junior, he came up through the club and has returned to Darwin. He also played in a grand final last year in the CAFL season in Alice Springs for Rovers. So, yeah, well done to Sean Edwards. So 9-minute mark of the first quarter. Lots of goals being scored in this game already. It's Wanderers 3 straight goals, still leading St Mary's 1-8 here at TIO Stadium. You're watching AFLNT's coverage of the 2020-21 TIO NTFL Final Series.
Newman, Short, Edwards. That's although Newman's gone to Jackson Calder at the moment, would have been a really good matchup, though.
Jellyman Turner in there got tackled and lost control of the ball. Priest goes back in for Wanderers, ducks one way, then the other, avoids Calder eventually, and it kicks Wanderers into attack again. Bates is on the end of this one, picks it up on the bounce, swings around on that left foot, drives it straight into the corridor. Raf Clark comes across, gets his fist to the ball, goes to the advantage here of Sean Manor for Wanderers. He's looking to break the tackle there, but Raf Clark just reached out and grabbed him, and now ball on the ground. Saunders gets a hand pass forward. Ferreira for St Mary's trying to tap it along in front. Jack Long gets involved, gets a hand pass to Raf Clark. He goes for a hopeful long hand pass, but good work by Paredes to recover that. Back to Jack Long, out to Jack Lant.
Numbers everywhere, Saints.
Chips it in short, looking for Grenfell. Grenfell hand passes over the top to Calder. Calder running inside 50, takes a bounce, steadies now, chips it in short. Sean Edwards again plays on around the corner, and he's hooked it back through for his second goal and Saints' second goal.
And the double fist pump, Shawnee Edwards is up and about.
They just had the overlap then, Saints. They did that really, really well. No fumbling.
Jack Long's composure down here on the wing, Rick, with that handball. There it is.
Good chain of handballs. The key to finals football is no fumbling, so just pretty clean.
Yeah.
And when you get to this stage, you just got to think your way through it. They've got overlaps, don't blaze away. Well done, Jackson Calder. Use the usable, and he did. I was a bit worried about that kick, Sean, but he finished well. Not a big fan of the Stevie J, but when they go through the middle...
That's how the Territory kids kick up here, Rick. They don't like set shots. So Wanderers 3 straight goals, leading St Mary's 2-14 at the 11-minute mark of the first quarter.
So Jellyman Turner's kick was smothered there, but Saints get it in anyway, and Hodgson at half-back for Wanderers takes that mark. Goes to the outer side looking for Priest, who takes the mark in front of Yarranham, passes off to Thomas Motlop. Thomas Motlop down the outer wing, looking for Cabillo there. It eventually falls into the hands of Bates, who handed it off, and Bates is back in the action again now. Goes way back here to Visser. Visser ducks past one and then drives long into the goal square, and the mark's taken down there. Brett Eddy it is again.
This would be my game plan, get it to this bloke in a one-on-one. Just a little bit worried from a St Mary's point of view as Thomas Motlop. Really going back to the old days of running off half-back flank, he set that up. In this occasion, he ran off Jacob Long to set that goal up. He's played a hell of a lot of Div 1 footy, probably more Div 1 footy than he likes. But I like the way Shannon's put some heat on him, but it looks like he's come to play come finals time, and he has won a Cheney medal before.
So Eddie finishes that one as you'd expect him to, and just stretches that lead a bit again. And Nick Visser's one that's come into the side this week. I think Ricky, a big-bodied midfielder, and he's an important player for him as well, I think. A little bit of poise, isn't he? I've always seen. There's a couple of just as I said with Thomas, I watched him playing a Div 1 game around Christmas. I thought, God, is your career over? But he's set up so many plays from off halfback flank. He's gone to young Bo Tedcastle. He roughed him up early, which I think sides are going to do come finals time, and he's worrying me a little bit. Thomas, back to the old days.
So Wanderers stretch that lead back out to 10 points, 4 straight goals to 2-14.
Sean Manor in there for Wanderers, gets the hand pass out to Hodgson. Hodgson hand passes forward but misses the target. Nick Yarran working hard on top of the ball. He's worried out of it but keeps the ball in front of him as he toes it out towards the boundary line. Ball's dragged in under, and looks like it'll be a stalemate here and a ball up.
Great crowd in tonight at TIO Stadium, and the big rivalry between the neighbourhood clubs. Both clubhouses on the other side of this oval, and a nice noisy crowd.
Both clubs finished last and second last only 2 seasons ago, so pretty good turnaround by both clubs. So the ball loose in the middle of the ground. Dre Thompson for Wanderers gets it on the toe, hit the umpire I think, but kicked off the ground by Gilbert for Saints, but
Thomas Motlop's read that best.
Thomas Motlop again. Willis set up about the 4th goal Thomas Motlop has set up. Just running off the forwards.
Trey Thompson now running to the 50, kicks long to the goal square. Eddie's there, it goes over all players and bounces through for another Wanderers goal.
St Mary's have got to fix up this Thomas Motlop thing. He is absolutely braining him off half-back. He's even jogging back. I saw him 2 months ago. He was walking around everywhere. He's just up and about, looking pretty fit. But St Mary's, it needs to be fixed very, very quickly.
Well, Dre Thompson is a Wanderers junior who's risen through to the senior ranks. He was a NT News Rising Star nominee in the 1920 season after making his debut the year before, and 3-time premiership player in the under-16s and 18s. Definitely made the step up to senior level, and so much pace. Him and Lockie Taylor are going to have a great battle out there on the wing today.
I think his father's a 200-game. Shane Thompson, I think, is his father, who's a 200-game veteran for Wanderers as well.
McFarlane with the clearance for Wanderers this time, deep into the forward line, and bursting through. The hand pass comes out, but Jellyman Turner's on the end of that one. He chips it in short, but only as far out there as Simon Bates.
Different Thompson I've just been.
Shane's sons are Keelan and the other one. Who's the other one? It'll come to me. But yeah, they're probably related though, if they're all at the same club.
Simon Bates.
Got close to the man on the mark there.
Yeah, kicks high to the goal square. Marking contest.
Ball's still in. No, it's gone out.
Out of bounds now in the right forward pocket for Wanderers.
So 5 straight goals to 2-2-14 at the moment. Ricky, we're just 15.5 minute mark of the first quarter.
Incredible Football Club Wanderers. You just could not have seen this. I watched them last week and I thought they were that far off the pace it wasn't funny. But I wasn't surprised. I've seen it so many times before.
So a quick kick out of defence, and now Paredes is on the end of it. Chips around the outer side, but this kicks off target. And Wanderers, big Simpson out there, takes that mark and looking to hand it off. Now chips it over to Braden McLean.
Good user of the footy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He just let me down like that.
Oh, the tackle.
And fortunate that the tackle was high, I think. And Jack Lant working back into defence for Saints. He kicks it to the outer side of the ground where Sean Edwards has made some space. Takes a mark, hand passes over the top to Gilbert. Gilbert kicks along inside forward 50, but picking that off pretty easily was Brody Newman. Set himself up well.
Good football, I reckon, Newman.
So Wanderers just switch the ball to the near side of the ground where Sean Manners worked back, and he goes short to Thomas Motlop. He's got plenty of space out there.
He's not running and carrying the football this time.
Motlop chipping it round the wing. Deacon Braun bounces it to himself a couple of times, but boundary umpire said it went over, so it's a ball in.
I think they brought Jackson Payne, which is a good move, I reckon, to try and get him into the game. Brought him onto the ball, I feel.
Yep.
Sean Edwards has gone to full forward.
Braxton Armat in for Saints in the last couple of weeks, but Manor with the clearance, getting a fair bit of the ball early in the game. Deacon Braun underneath this one, works it out to McFarlane. McFarlane looking to give off, but doesn't. He gets tackled in the end. Hand pass comes over the top, but Dylan Lance there, but Dre Thompson chops this one off, gets a handball forward. Visser with the left hand out to Totham. Totham in a bit of space, drives it, looking for Eddie in a one-on-one, and Eddie just too strong against Wilkinson.
Can play the game, can't he?
Wilkinson giving away a bit of height there, Rick.
Yeah, look, you're talking about one of the best full forwards outside the AFL. He regularly kicks hundreds of goals for Vermont in the very strong Eastern Footy League, and if I'd keep going to him because he's a star. And the other thing I watched last week, kicking from 50 was he could do it with his eyes closed, so like the distance here won't be a problem.
So Eddie out, we're kicking just from the paint of 50, about 10 metres in from the boundary line. Kicks on its way now, looks pretty good. It's just hung it out to the left a bit, so a let off there for Saints.
He has kicked, before this game, 68 goals, and he's Wanderers' leading goal kicker for the season, whereas St Mary's leading goal kickers are Jackson Calder and Jack Lant, way back on 29, so interesting stat.
So Saints chipping it round in defence. Gilbert with the mark, another one that's come in this week, I think, Ricky, and Yeah, and Nick Yarran we've seen, he's back after suspension for 3 weeks, I think, as well. So a few players playing their first game for a while.
Crawled with injuries in the last few weeks, St Mary's. Ryan Smith obviously breaking his arm, Jack Williams doing his knee and the likes of that. So they probably had to change their team up a little bit.
So a free kick after disposal there was fortunate because the ball had drifted out on the full. That's Grenfell looking for Calder down here. McLean takes it, gets the hand pass across. Motlop's tackled with the ball, it spills out, comes out the bat and Payne gets a hand pass, but only as far as Tipalura there. He hands it off to McFarlane, who cleverly evades all the St Mary's tacklers and drives Wanderers deep into attack again. Marking contest down there, and the ball comes to ground. Comes off of Eddie's boot. Yep, out on the full. And Raf Clark will take this one.
So Raf Clark, captain tonight. His co-captain Shannon Rioli is out injured for St Mary's, while Braden McLean, as we said earlier, captain of Wanderers Football Club.
I'm going to have restructured a bit. I've got a feeling Justin Robinson has gone back behind the football. Whether Raf Clark has gone to Brett Eddie, I'm not quite sure about that yet.
There's Newman again.
Here's my man.
So Wanderers spreading on the outer side, but he ignores them and goes straight down the ground in the direction of Eddie again. Eddie up high, can't take the mark. Ball comes to ground. Raf
landed
Clark
on a teammate too.
Gets the hand pass out wide.
Down.
Both hurt each other.
Josh Cabillo as well, so there's 2 stars are down for Wanderers.
High ball comes out. Pereira's in there laying the tackle. Tottenham gets a quick kick forward. Jellyman Turner attacks the ball but can't take it. The kick's smothered there from Fijo, and Saints through the hands, looking to work the ball out of defence. Jacob Long.
You've just got to hold on here, Saints. They can't let them kick another goal. 3 goals down, I reckon, is not a bad result the way things are going. If they can just hold on, don't let Wanderers score. There's probably 1 or 2 minutes of red time left.
And Josh Cabillo is coming straight off, while Eddie's looking very sore and sorry for himself, but staying on.
Wanderers have worked harder here.
So McFarlane just plays on, runs away from the big ruckman, and
Not the greatest delivery, though.
no. But
Geez,
Bates
well
worked
there.
hard there. Ball on the ground. Taylor chips it over and finds Sean Parnell on the outer side.
Kieran Parnell, son of
His
Sean.
old man will be happy to get a kick.
He'll be wrapped with that mention.
So kick round the outer side and Calder takes the mark. Just chipping it around, working it pretty well, and Paredes on the end of this one.
Got some decent numbers, Saints.
We've got free players in the 50 everywhere.
Chips it in, McLean working back, does well to make a contest there. Edwards again gets a quick kick forward, and Calder sitting underneath this one takes the mark. And so they worked it pretty well around the outer side, and eventually had the numbers, and Calder got underneath it, and he marks 15 metres out directly in front.
Jacko Calder, the man from the Mornington Football Club.
He was your recruit, wasn't he, Rick?
Oh, my brother's got him.
Claim it,
And
claim
brothers
it.
rang me. And yeah, he's a bit of a legend down at Mornington. He's coached by Simon Goosey, who kicked 2,000 goals for the Mornington Football Club.
He's become a cult figure at St Mary's too, where they call him the champ.
Good finisher usually.
Yep, no exception here. That's straight through, and a really badly needed goal for Saints after Wanderers had put on plenty of pressure when they got the ball in the forward line, and with Eddie looking dangerous, but he's off the ground now, but looks like he's walking around okay and should be back soon. They've got big Eddie Simpson in the goal square instead.
Well, Jackson Calder works for a St Mary's legend in Peter Noodles McFarlane, Rick.
Yes.
That'd be good to go to work to every day and get some advice from Noodles about finals footy.
Get some advice, and especially Peter being an Instagram influencer these days. So you often see Jackson on it.
G'day, legends. It's Wanderers 5-1-31, St Mary's 3-2-20 at the 23-minute mark of the first quarter.
Ball's down towards half forward for Wanderers. Deacon Braun worked in hard underneath there. Sean Manor dives on top of it, hooks it back in, spills out now. Ferreira. It was a free kick off the ball, and it's Manor who's a dangerous player. He switches into the middle of the ground, finds the big fella Jobaston Priest. Priest plays on and goes straight down the ground. Ball's through the hands there. Robinson, as you said, Rick has been pushed back in defence now, but his clearing kick only as far there as Matthew Motlop. Motlop kicks inside forward 50, comes over the back, but there's a whistle on the play, and it's a St Mary's free kick going to Will Hams.
Just a few, like Dylan Land, who's probably been the best player in the competition, just touching the ball now, hasn't touched it a lot. Nick Yarran hasn't had a real lot of the footy, so they've just got some of their prime movers, Saints, have just got to get into the game. Paredes has been okay, but not Paredes at his best.
Yep.
Just those players have just got to start to get into the game.
Probably a favourite for the Nichols medal in a few weeks. And, yeah.
28 for Wanderers.
McFarlane,
He's an exceptional, he would have to be up there.
So a bit of a loose kick coming across here gives Wanderers an opportunity. Aaron Motlop chips it forward, but didn't really look and put it straight into the lap of Raf Clark, who switches to the grandstand side. Ferreira and Totham do battle there. Ferreira goes in hard, but Totham wins the ball as the siren goes to end the first quarter.
So quarter time here at TIO Stadium. It's Wanderers 5-1-31, leading St Mary's 3-20. We'll take a break and be back for the second quarter very soon.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Head on in to Kazali's Palmerston Club. Business meetings, coffee breaks, or just unwinding, Kazali's has you covered. It's the perfect spot for a catch-up with friends, with stylish function areas suitable for any occasion. Sensational meals. Our family-friendly bistro has plenty of delicious options. All the latest machines in our modern gaming room. Get around the pool tables and prove your skills. Fancy a flutter? We've got full betting facilities available. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
So we can feel wherever you feel together, real together. No one can stop. No one can stop. Nothing can ever bring me down.
Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sports zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice,
Come and see it.
still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Now open at Casuarina Square.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
The time here at TIO Stadium, and it's Wanderers with the early lead, 5-1-31 up against St Mary's, 3-2-20. A little bit earlier today here at TIO Stadium, Tars, their finals hopes continue with a 13-6-84 victory over the Buffs, 9-4-58 advance the Buffs now out of the final series. Tars continue 13-6-84 defeating the Buffs 9-4-58. A little bit earlier here at TIO Stadium, but right now it's quarter time with St Mary's 3-2-20, trailing Wanderers 5-1-31.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium in Darwin for the 2020-21 TIO NTFL qualifying final here in the Men's Premier League between St Mary's and Wanderers. So far, Wanderers 5-1-31, leading Saints 3-2-20. Rick, a quick summary of the first quarter for you.
Yeah, awesome by Wanderers. Really, I thought they really got good run off their halfback. Thomas Motlop was superb. Newman as well as another one that really set up another goal. See Jellyman Turner starting in the middle. Dylan Lant gone back behind the footy, so they're throwing the magnets around St Mary's.
Grenfell, the hit out down to Paredes. Paredes kicks high towards centre half forward. Calder trying to work his way to the front, couldn't get there. Hodgson had the ball knocked out of his hands. Jellyman Turner in the action, gets it across to Calder. Calder kicks long to the goal square. Jackson Payne and Brenton Motlop. Ball comes to the ground. Jack Land in front off the ground, but just misses to the right hand side at the Michael Long centre end.
Wilkinson's also gone forward, and Justin Tinney Robinson has gone on to the Hawthorn, the Wanderers superstar and Brett Eddy. Oh, turnover here. No.
So McFarlane
signed with Woodville West Torrens in the last couple of weeks. We'll go to the AFLNT next season.
Goes straight up the ground where Thomas Motlop's in some space. He kicks wide and he's got players out wide. McLean takes the mark, looking to play on quickly. Casimiro's worked his way to the outer side of the ground there. Ball bounced in front of him. He goes backwards, goes over the head of McLean, and now Wilkinson working up for Saints. Puts the pressure on, picks up the ball, gets it over to Taylor, who's tackled as soon as he took possession, and he's mobbed out there by a couple of Wanderers players, and we'll have a ball up.
Yeah, clutching the knee a bit, Lockie. He got a few hits last week by the Wanderers boys and has the knee strapped up, so but good to see him running out there.
Grenfell with the hit out, and Saints go forward again. Working back, Newman takes another excellent defensive mark.
Former captain of the Calder Cannons as well, so just to be captain of a program like that just shows he must have unbelievable leadership skills as well. So to have someone like that across half back is a big for Shannon Motlop.
McFarlane out wide looking for Thomas Motlop. He takes that mark, so they've switched the ball from one side to the other, but not much here. He's got Manor running hard and chips it over and finds him at half back.
He ran ridiculously hard, didn't he, to get there? So just controlling the ball by foot at the moment.
So Manor chips it along the wing, but Tyler Saunders has cut that one off, and he drives Saints forward again. But Eddie's in front down there. The ball slips over the back. Brenton Motlop trying to work it out with the ball in front of him. Jack Lant picks up, kicks along the ground towards the goal, but just bounced the wrong way and a behind only, and gets up and has a bit of a chat with Zelio Casimiro.
So Wanderers 5-1-31, leading St Mary's 3-4-22 at the almost the 3-minute mark here of the second quarter.
Not a bad start, I reckon, by Saints. About 3 or 4 inside 50s entries. But Thomas Motlop, they don't mind using him, do they, Wanderers, on rebound from their D50.
Braden McLean out here looking for Simpson. The ball comes down where McFarlane at the front of the pack chips looking for Totham, but good defensive pressure, and the ball's knocked out of bounds.
Be interesting, McFarlane with the Nichols medal. I've seen Stark. I remember Paredes' first year was pretty similar and he got 1 vote. So just my history of it, a lot of the times the new players to town don't get, it takes a couple of years to get recognised.
There he is again, had the jumper pulled, so he takes the free kick. Looks like he's got some new wheels on today. They're pretty bright, but gets the hand pass over to Manor. Manor, who kicks long down the line, high, looking for Eddie. Going back was Dylan Lant. Deacon Braun caught with the ball, and Kieran Parnell rewarded with the free kick there. Parnell chips it back into the corridor. Braxton Armat taking the mark there. He's looking to switch again to the outer side, and he does so to Robinson. Robinson plays on, gets caught by Tipalura. Tipalura now picks up, hooks towards goal. It's going close.
Oh.
Hits the goal post. Yeah, just a bit untidy, Saints in defence there.
I reckon Tipalura just could have maybe just had a touch of a look. There's a fair few options. It's a pretty difficult kick from 35 out from there, but yeah, they did have a few options.
Parnell to bring it in. Chips it in short to Hams. In the back pocket, hasn't got much to go to.
And they've cut the exits off well, Wanderers.
So Parnell comes in and assists with a Shepherd to allow Hams to play on, and now his kick falls short and Bates underneath that one. He gets the jumper pulled and he'll take a free kick, plays on straight away, runs inside 50, kicks long towards goal. Simpson coming across, couple of grabs, couldn't take it. Raf Clark eventually on the bounce, picks up and runs the ball out of defence. Jelliman Turner's in some trouble, swings a hand pass out towards the boundary line. Wanderers players want it paid deliberate, but doesn't look like that's going to be the call, and we'll have a boundary throw in. So yeah, good
tackle by Matthew Motlop. That's the key. Just keep it in that defensive 50 for Wanderers. Good defensive tackle.
That's a short throw in. Simpson's grabbed it out of the ruck, has a kick around the corner, bounces it in, and Clark.
Thought for a second there I was going to get one of those bounces.
Well, there's 5 Motlops playing out there tonight and 1 coaching, which makes 6, so half a dozen.
That's a small effort to normal, isn't it?
That's right. Marlon was named as an emergency as well. So Hodgson for Wanderers here chops it off and drills the ball inside 50, but that's chopped off down there by Hams, and he belts it straight back over the top where Jack Lant has some space, runs onto it. Couple of bounces now inside 50, kicks long towards goal, but he's dragged it to the left.
And Jackson Calder running with him to provide that cover.
That's positive though, good ball movement, only 2 goals down, so it's still in the game. We've got to keep this ball in the forward half. Jack Long.
Oh, it's a pretty disappointing kicking for Wanderers. Jack Long chopped it off, chips it in and finds Ted Castle in the forward pocket. Be almost his first touch, I would think, Ricky, tonight.
Yeah, I think it is. He's playing on Thomas Motlop, who's been pretty dangerous. He's a very, very good kick of the footies. This isn't
very good kick.
Isn't above him.
First game for a few weeks. He's down at boarding school at St Pat's in Ballarat, so interesting to see if he's got his kicking boots on.
St Pat's one of the best football schools in Australia. Leant back on that too much though.
Yep, dragged it to the left. So Saints have had a few opportunities early in this quarter, but no goals yet.
Certainly, it'll happen. That's what happens in finals footy. You pick players that, but these Thomas has certainly challenged him.
McLean brings it in again, goes short to Thomas Motlop, standing all by himself inside defensive 50, and he's indicating that he's going to go long out here. Eddie Simpson makes position, sits it on top of his head. Clark was up early, well done by Newman, handed it off, and now Tottenham with the 1-2 gets it back again, and now a quick kick forward. Working back with the flight of the ball was Saunders, but Dylan Lant chopped it off. His handball was smothered over the line by Tipalura.
Well, Dylan Lant won the NT News the Silver Hebron Player of the Year in the paper last week, a $1,000 prize, which is awarded at Nichols Medal Night.
Manning just sort of saying to young Tottenham, probably could have given that one and they could have had the overlap there. So finals footy, just got to take every opportunity.
Ball slips over the top of the ruck contest there. Dre Thompson comes in and kicks forward, but Parnell at the end of this one just spilled it.
Oh my God.
Oh, and that's a dangerous cross kick. Robinson comes in to make the contest, but Wanderers now through Eddie, hooks around the corner, and that's a pretty bad mistake by Saints in defence, and Brett Eddie makes them pay.
Yes, never kick across back into across goals, hey Rick?
Well, not into traffic.
No, let me get my words out, I'm still in shock.
He started on Bates and Kieran Parnell, not the greatest quarter. I think Kieran Parnell has to be the next captain of the St Mary's Football Club, but he just made a bit of a little bit of a meal of this one. So
3 goals to Brett Eddie takes that score to Wanderers 6-3, 39, St Mary's 3-6-24 at the 9-minute mark of the second quarter here at TIO Stadium in Darwin.
Big boy Eddie, isn't he? Just got rid of Hams.
Yep.
Like he was a ragdoll.
Priest up high, but Jack Long with the clearance on the right foot goes straight down the middle of the ground. Wilkinson punches it out. Jack Lant roving beautifully and drills that one home, and that was the answer that Saints needed straight away.
If there's a positive for Saints, it's this bloke here. He's been pretty lively, I reckon, most of the game, and been very, very lively in the second half of the game. Well,
Yeah, the
And Casemiro was wondering what pub they're going to catch up in Mitchell Street.
The Lant brothers have been a revelation for St Mary's this year from Sunbury in the Ballarat League, and he's the older brother of Jack's the older brother of Dylan, but yeah, from Sunbury in Victoria. Absolute revelation for Saints this year. So the margin back to just 9 points now at the 10-minute mark of the second quarter.
Interesting that Thomas Motlop's moved himself onto Jack Lant now, and just getting to know him.
He has been pretty lively, Lant. I reckon he's been the positive down there in the forward line.
Jack Long again with his hands on the ball in the middle, this time by hand, and Jellyman Turner's caught underneath it.
Don't know. If Jack Long, I reckon 3 minutes get him off. If that's the case, he nearly got 2 clearances in a row. Thomas has put someone down
behind the play. I think it's
Lant, and he's got a free kick.
I think it's
at 50 out. No, it's Lant, I reckon. Yeah, it is Lant.
Yep, Jack Lant. So they were having a bit of push and shove for quite a while, and Thomas obviously just took it a bit far, and now
that's a great kick.
Yeah,
that's a great kick.
Oh, whack across the head then, and it's a free kick.
Nearly Payne's first kick for the game as well.
Yep. So another important shot at goal for Saints, and yeah, just a couple of undisciplined things from Wanderers there, and those sort of things can bring you undone pretty quickly if you don't rein it in.
You mentioned it earlier on about not playing for a while. I just reckon this bloke is a star, but I thought it was like Jared Wade. I think he only played grand final. I think Saints weren't expecting to go straight in, and they would have got a game into him before the grand final.
He was carrying that foot injury pain.
Yeah, but he just hadn't played for about 2 months going into it, and he just struggled with it.
Well, that's a goal to Jackson Payne, so no worries about that. Drafted by Collingwood at pick number 6 of the 2011 National Draft, and was traded to Brisbane Lions in 2013, so bit of experience on AFL lists showing through. Currently works for the Hawthorn Football Club, and his second season at St Mary's, but yeah, the free kick there and the margin back to 3 points.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's just a 3-point ball game, but a good contest, and Grenfell and Priest have been going at it pretty well on the ruck as well.
So both sides have got 4 goal kickers apiece at the moment.
You've got to watch your discipline there with Thomas. He's been great tonight, but just gave away a goal. That piece of play. Jack Long with nearly 3 clearances in a row.
Yeah, getting his hands on the ball first, reading it well.
Greg Williams like.
Reinvigorated.
And over the back, Bates is first there, can't keep his footing, and the ball's trapped in underneath. Oh, it's an interesting hand pass out, but play on's the call. Eddie comes in, big body, gets thrown out of the way without possession of the ball. And
he's such a great kick of the footy. Someone you just don't want to give those free kicks away.
Yeah. Isn't Simon Bates just electric when he's
it's ridiculous
foot speed?
So the Northcliffe Football Club, they're looking to see who they're going to be playing next week, with a chance to go into the biggest sporting event in the Northern Territory.
Eddie's kick now. Looks good, it is good, and he's on target tonight, and made him pay with the free kick given away. He was in the contest and just got slung out of it. Yeah,
his 4th goal for the evening, halfway through the second quarter. And speaking of the biggest event in the Northern Territory sporting, Rick, your women finished on top of the ladder. Pints, you coaching this year. Are you excited about the final series?
Yeah, it should be good. So still got to get there first, let alone win it. So see how we go next week. I think we play the Buffs.
An undefeated season though, so congratulations to you.
Thank you.
The score, Wanderers 45 leading St Mary's 36 at almost the 14-minute mark now of the second quarter.
So Matt in the ruck now, jumps straight into Priest. Play on's the call. Newman's in there working hard. Totham picks up, coming in off the wing, hand passes it back. Bates with the ball at his feet, but Parnell does really well there.
I'll give him a bit of confidence.
Picks up and drives the ball wide, and it bounces just inside the boundary line, inside forward 50, but some good work by Parnell there. And took the ball cleanly, evaded a couple and got Saints forward again. Just waiting on the throw in now, and Hodgson in front wins the hit out, but there's a free kick here. It's going Saints' way. And it's Jackson Payne again.
He's usually a pretty long and accurate kick of the footy.
So is he playing for Old Melburnians in the amateurs now?
Yeah,
Rick?
I think he is actually.
Yeah.
So he'd be training at the moment, you would think. Pretty strong #1 ranked competition in Victoria at the moment, the amateurs.
So he came to St Mary's through Sean Edwards, I think. They went to boarding school together. Yeah.
I think they went to Melbourne Grammar.
So Jackson Payne now just steps inside 50. His kick's on the way. I don't think he's brought that one back. Hung it out to the right. Still in play and off hands goes through for a behind. In fact, I think the boundary umpire is saying that the ball hit the behind post off hands. So it'll be a boundary throw in, which is probably a better result for Saints.
Just going to try and score from here, although Wanderers have got some massive numbers in there.
Hodgson and Calder doing battle again. Calder picks up snaps, but offline and behind again for Saints.
St Mary's runner is the NTFL games record holder Iggy Vallejo out there, keeping busy. Brother Anthony, the coach, obviously.
Ferreira with one hand almost dragged it in. Kicks this one off the outside of the boot, but that's chopped off by Aaron Motlop at half-back.
Still looks fit enough to play, I think Iggy does.
Oh, yeah. He looks after himself, Ignatius. He's got 4 kids and they're coming through the ranks now, so the name will be strong at St Mary's in the years to come. 3 boys and a girl.
Matthew Motlop to Aaron Motlop. He plays on now and kicks long to centre half forward. Getting underneath. That one was Bates. It had the ball punched away from him. It spills into the centre square where Thomas Motlop does really well to tap it over to McFarlane. McFarlane drills it straight up the middle.
Well done, Tyler.
Tyler Saunders read it well. Parnell tidies up and hand passes out wide to Dylan Lant. And Dylan Lant chips it wide again to Yaron. Yaron takes a mark, plays on straight away and hits up Paredes out in front of the scoreboard. He chips back inside to Braxton Armat. And Saints just working the ball around now. Armat goes wide again. And the mark's taken on the other side. Good
quarter, hasn't he, Lant?
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh, that's not his best kick. And Hodgson chops that one off for Wanderers. He's looking to bring the ball back into the corridor where he's got a couple of players.
We've got an overlap here.
And
no one on the mark.
Runs through the middle.
Oh.
It's a vigorous shepherd off the ball, but play on the ball. A good tackle there and a second attempt. Tottenham gets the hand pass away. Through the hands, Jacob Long's down there and Jellyman Turner toes it forward eventually. McFarlane does battle against him, picked up by Motlop. McFarlane fumbles this time but recovers well. Now looking for what he's got up forward. Hand passes backwards instead to Aaron Motlop. Aaron Motlop looking for Bates at half forward. Parnell over the top, but Motlop recovers best. Hands it off. And Wanderers moving forward towards half forward again. Dylan Lant, dinky little kick there, follows it up himself, dives back on top of it. And Jerome Motlop in the contest.
Just going back a couple of minutes, Aaron Motlop, he had space in front of him. I would have liked to just go get the ball in long to Brett Eddy. He's in that launch pad moment. Just get it into him. He's on fire at the moment, so get it in long and deep. We've got Cabillo down there as well. Just have to keep that ball. Wanderers in their forward half.
Dre Thompson with pace, runs inside 50, takes a bounce, kicks on the outside of the foot. Tyler Saunders positioned himself
Great
well.
mark, Tyler
Good mark
Saunders.
under pressure.
Away, you Saints, a bit of room.
Saunders has been good this second quarter, Rick.
No, well, he got in front of Brett Eddy, and not many people would like to do that last one, so it was really well done.
So Parnell chips it over, but just a bit slow getting onto it. Saints moving into position, but it comes back to Armat. Kicks the ball around the outer wing. Thomas Motlop did well in front there and drives Wanderers back again. Finds Dre Thompson at half forward. He chips inboard to Manor. Manor looking to switch again. Goes long to the top of the goal square instead. Ball slips over the back. Josh Capillo's there, hands it off to Bates. And all the Saints players flew, no one down, and pretty smart play.
I reckon Simon Bates would have kicked 100 goals like that over the last 10 years. He's very, very good.
Those and running into goal.
Cabillo just brought him into it. Cabillo was Essendon Footy League Team of the Decade captain, which is some of the names in that. It was the who's who of metropolitan football. So to be named captain, it just shows his leadership qualities, and picks it off and brings Bates into the game, and I think he played in the 2010-11 Premiership for Wanderers as well.
Yeah, and Batesy, a Premiership player for Wanderers as well. Played all his NTFL career with Wanderers, 38 goals this season, and the most for any small forward. And he was the under-18s Premiership coach for a few seasons as well, so a good contributor to the Wanderers Football Club.
God, this bloke racks them up, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's Manor this time. Hand passes it forward. But they've got those two midfielders that get plenty of it. Robinson in front here. Just ball slips through his hands and allows Brett Eddy to come in. Hand pass
Manor again.
Chipped out wide by Fijo, and Manor's there working hard. And Cabillo
the strength.
just
Interesting with Manor, he played for Lavington the pre-COVID year, and they've kicked the goal at Wanderers, yeah. And Wangaratta Magpies were raving hot favourites in the Ovens and Murray to win that premiership. And they reckon he pulled Lavington Magpies over the line, best on ground the grand final. They reckon he was unbelievable. So he's obviously a really, really big-time player. Yeah, he's Sprellick. He got the ball, 3 back. He just outworked the St Mary's midfield, and Cabillo just... That's what happens when you play in front. Too strong, big boy.
Well, he gave the last goal off to Simon Bates, and he's got one of his own now. Favourite son of the club who's returned home to live in Darwin. He hadn't played since the 2015-16 grand final, but Sandford experience, as you said, Essendon District Football League experience. So the score now, Wanderers 51, leading St Mary's 37.
Well, Grenfell hit it straight down to his opposite ruckman, and Priest wins the clearance for Wanderers. Deacon Braun copped a high tackle, played on straight away and kicked forward. The advantage was paid, and Ralph Clark coming across in front of Cabillo takes that mark. He chips it straight up the corridor. There's a bit of space there, and Edwards takes the mark. He goes sideways out here where Nick Yarron's found some space. Takes the mark, plays on with a hand pass over the top to Jack Lant. Jack Lant's under a bit of pressure, but drives long, goes over the head of Wilkinson down there. Ball bouncing. Ted Castle works back over the back of the pack, but Newman coming in for Wanderers does really well now. Picks up, stands himself up, but then his kick slews off the side of the boot.
I'd still be happy with that with Newman. Usually Ted Castle just burns you when he gets you over the back. It was phenomenal to win that ball and bring it, even though it went out of bounds. Phenomenal to win that ball.
Taylor coming in, and it's Manor again working hard, but he's tackled by Taylor, who gives him some to go on with, and won the free kick.
Need a goal, pretty desperate here, Saints. Sean Edwards, can he run and carry the footy there?
Ball's handed off to him. He's running across towards the other side of the ground, through the centre square, chips it in forward, but Brenton Motlop found the front position. Wilkinson down there, hooks around the corner, kicks towards goal, but Braden McLean just got a touch to it and saw it through for a behind.
22-minute mark of the second quarter. Wanderers 8-3-51, leading St Mary's 5-8-38.
Braden McLean, as usual, brings the ball back into play. Kicks long here looking for Priest. Yarron reaches over the top, gets his fist to the ball. Manor again working hard in and underneath. He's tackled again by Taylor, and again he's penalised. So a couple of good efforts in a couple of minutes by
Lockie Taylor.
Get it in quick.
From Geelong, Lockie Taylor, St Joseph's School. Hadn't played senior footy until he moved to Darwin, though, in August last year.
Actually sent to the club by a former champion in Mark Hildebrand of the St Mary's Foot Club.
So Braden McLean running the ball out of defence now with a few bounces. Hooks it back on the left foot. That's Visser's in there and couldn't take possession. The hand pass comes out. Not the tidiest, but
they've got to go to Eddie, that situation. You go along to Eddie, I reckon, Wanderers, the way he's on fire.
There's a couple of Wanderers players a bit slow to get up there.
So, in fact, Hams is pretty slow. He's won the free kick.
Yeah, it's Willing and Able.
I think he got caught underneath the falling body there, but chips to the outer side, and Paredes takes that mark in front of the scoreboard. Not much happening for him ahead, and it's the end of the first half.
So Wanderers take the lead into the first half, 51-38. Rick, how did you see that second quarter?
The Saints come out of the gates pretty well, and I think they played better footy actually in the first half, and then Wanderers just kicked those 2 goals in a row just to keep that margin, isn't that? 2 goal margin just away from them.
Yeah, it's a 2 goal to 3 goal quarter. We'll take a break and come back after half time.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Absolutely zero.
Zero.
Yeah, definitely.
It has to be zero.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's asking too much.
Domestic violence is everybody's business.
And it's not just the physical abuse, it's the things we don't see.
It is hurting our families. It is killing our families.
A lot of people have been silent to this fact, and I think it's about time we all speak up together and say no more to this form of abuse.
No more.
No more. No more family violence.
No more to the family violence.
No more. No more.
No more.
Listen up, kids.
Make school your story.
Help you succeed and rise to glory.
Safe to go to school.
So go the distance. Attend every day. Learn and listen. School holiday rockin' with love or break.
Time with friends and family is always great.
But when it's time for school, don't get slack.
It's safe to go to school. Can't wait to get back. So don't cut corners.
Do the full term. It's safe to go to school and it's time to learn. So don't cut corners. Do the full term. Make school your story and it's time to learn.
School returns February 2021. Written and authorised by the Northern Territory Government.
Time to escape, cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
On Territory roads, anything can happen. So you need to drive to the conditions. Speeding can get you into all sorts of trouble. Dirt roads aren't just dusty. When it's hard to see, they're dangerous. At water crossings, remember, you're driving a motor car, not a boat. High water can be deep trouble. All sorts of animals can be on the road, so watch out. And if the weather is bad, slow down, you mob. Drive to the conditions and arrive in good condition.
The time to kickstart your business is now. Get your message across with the experienced local TV production team at Kick Digital. Cost effective, rapid turnaround, exceptional service. Kick Digital. Television production energized.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal for all school-related activities. 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact CFS Gear for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Getting my hands on the footy and just being with my mates.
I like being outdoors. It just makes me happy. I don't like it when I get yelled at.
It's pretty embarrassing when someone's shouting at you halfway through the game.
It makes me feel like I'm useless and I can't do anything.
We're just kids.
We're just here to have fun.
Let us do what we love.
Just let kids be kids.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
The NTFL clubs and umpires would like to share the following events and messages and thank their sponsors for the 2021 TIO NTFL season. For more information, please visit the relevant club or umpire's Facebook page.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium in Darwin for this qualifying final between St Mary's and Wanderers. It's half-time and Wanderers are leading 57-38. Rick, pretty good game so far. We're going to have a look at some of the highlights from the first half.
Yeah, we will. Just Kieran Parnell, a bit of a switch and a bit of a turnover here. But there's that bloke there impressed me in the first quarter, one of the better ones. So Payne, they sort of need him to come into the game. But yeah, Jack Lant was very good in that quarter as well. So Wanderers are certainly on top at the moment. Saints, I don't think they're out of it at this stage. That's the bloke doing all the damage right there, Eddie.
Back underway here at TIO Stadium for the third quarter.
So Sebastian Priest with the clearance. The big ruckman just hooks it forward. Ball on the ground. Dre Thompson runs onto it, couldn't take it cleanly. Nick Yaron does beautifully in there and gets a hand pass out to Dylan Lamp. He's caught with the ball and penalised for incorrect disposal. So a red hot tackle there by Tipalura. Tipalura chips it in forward, looking for Eddie off the hands. Simon Bates is in there. Gets back on his left foot, hooks it around, but didn't have enough purchase on it.
Yeah, time to settle, Simon. I reckon he could have taken another step and nearly put that through. Ralph Clark gone onto Eddie this quarter.
So Jacob Long with the ball now. Kicks towards the grandstand side here. Jackson Payne, strong mark out in front. Brenton Motlop over the top, gives him a bit of attention in taking the mark, but
that'll give him some confidence. I reckon if this bloke gets back into the game, we're only a couple of goals out of it, Saints. It's not over.
Drives it along the wing. Edwards flies high and on the second grab takes the mark in between a couple of Wanderers players there. So another confidence booster for Saints, but now he's looking for Calder down here, and he comes out. Mark's not paid. Play on's the call. He had a fair piece of it, but just didn't hold on to it in the end. It's dragged back in underneath, and now it comes out. Jack Lant on the left foot. Chips it inside forward 50 as others running across there. Brenton Motlop forgets about the ball and gets Land out of the way. Dre Thompson throws it on his left boot straight up the corridor. Jack Long coming out at that one, spills it off the chest and then has a collision with Casemiro, and free kicks given away.
Well, they both went pretty hard for that. Casemiro didn't divot one bit. Turnover here.
Through the hands of Manna, but he manages to run away from Jack Long and kick long. That's a pretty good kick. Looking for Tipalura out there, and beautifully weighted kick, and Tipalura running with the flight of the ball. Took it on his chest, and a chance for the first goal of the second half.
Well, I tell you what, I went downstairs at half-time and there is a great crowd in and they are loving the finals footy atmosphere. So pretty electric feeling down there at the moment.
It's a decent grab by Tipalura. You don't know what's coming with that one. It's probably a harder mark than what it looks. Former St Mary's junior. See how he goes with this kick.
Tipalura now, kick on the way. Goal umpire makes a bit of ground, but it's good enough. He snuck that one in, and so a quick fire start to Wanderers. But it was a good mark, but beautifully weighted kick by Manna.
As you said, he's played juniors for St Mary's and Wanderers. He made his Premier League debut in the 18-19 season, was an NT News Rising Star nominee in that season, and he won an under-18s premiership with Wanderers. So made the step up to senior footy, and that takes the score to 10-3-63. Wanderers leading St Mary's 5-8-38.
Manna's been good, Stewie, I reckon.
Yeah, he's a very good player, and he's played... he missed a few games during the season. He would have been another contender for the medal, I would have thought, if not. So they've got some really good midfielders at Wanderers, and
with a full forward to kick it to.
Yeah, exactly.
And Cabillo's still handy as well, isn't he?
Yep. Jack Lant chips this one across. Payne underneath it, couldn't hold on to the mark.
Motlop did very well there.
Yep. And Vizza out of defence. Bates
quick.
Just slipped through his hands and allowed the Saints defenders in. Jacob Long comes in, wheels around on the left hand to Saunders. Hand pass back, missed him, but Long gets there first. Now he's under some pressure from Thomas Motlop. It chips in board and finds Braxton Armat. Armat looking to switch the ball across the centre of the ground here. That's a dangerous kick, and it's chopped off by Matthew Motlop, and Wanderers were away, but a good tackle. They've still got the ball in front.
Bates is free.
Deacon Braun with the hand pass, but
there's a free kick being paid.
What way? St Mary's way.
Yeah, the player didn't have the ball. Clear free kick.
Anthony Velojo might have put it on Jacob Long and he's put it on him, and then also put him onto Bates and said you're on him. So see how that matchup goes. Bates has been a bit of a nightmare at the moment.
Raf Clark getting up very sore and sorry for himself, copping one high. The veteran of the St Mary's side.
He hands it off, and Paredes takes the mark in front of the grandstand, plays on, drives down towards half forward. Edwards underneath it, had one pat at it. Newman in there, so is Totham. There's a free kick here, and it's going Newman's way.
Was there a turnaround?
Gives Wilkinson some to go with, but it's all okay apparently, and Newman goes back, and he'll take the free kick at half back. He's been a good player tonight as well, Ricky.
Only 19 years of age is pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah. So keeps the ball close to the boundary line on this wing. Priest does really well in there. Comes out to Totham, who gets a quick kick forward. Bates with pace runs onto it, but Parnell's right with him and lays the tackle. Ball spills out and goes over the boundary line. So
good work by Kieran. Good starting points then. It's a good start.
Good footy.
I reckon Newman, I think he was signed he's going to go and have a go. He didn't get drafted. I think he was going to Werribee, and then COVID hit, so he might head back there, but he looks quite a player.
Manor again with the clearance from that boundary throw in, but no one on the end of it, and it bounces out of bounds in the left forward pocket for Wanderers.
Still an 80 metre forward gain. You're still keeping the ball in your forward half. It's still a massive win. You know, they can reset. They can get numbers around the ball, keep that ball in their forward half.
So plenty of players around this contest from the boundary throw in. It's Simpson up against Grenfell. Grenfell thumps it forward. Paredes with the clearance, but straight into the lap of Jabaston Priest.
That's another one. They've used Priest, haven't they, in the ruck nearly the whole game. They haven't used Simpson, who's got a lot of waffle experience. And they've hardly used him at all in the ruck. And it's working.
Yeah. It's a booming kick forward.
Good grab.
But Saunders reads it off the pack and chips it into Dylan Lant. Dylan Lant looking for his brother out wide here. Jack Landy takes the mark. Looked to play on, but then decided against a winning side. But Braden McLean coming in fast. Gets it down. Sean Manor again. Inside 50. Kick falls just short. Hook around the corner from Tipalura. But that one's offline and a behind only. And bit of push and shove going on, but not much in that. And Saints bring it back into play. Paredes underneath this one. Totham over the top, punches it forward.
Finding hard to get it out of the D50, Saints. They've got away with it now, though.
Yep.
They need to go now.
Big Grenfell turns around and kicks it in quickly, looking for Payne. Motlop's against him, gets his fist to the ball, does well. Thomas Motlop's in there. Brenton Motlop. Hand pass goes astray. Jackson Calder gets on to the end of this one, hands it off to Tedcastle. Takes his time, lines it up, but he's missed it to the right, and really should have kicked that one, Ricky.
Yeah, I like Jackson called a body line the footy, come through with it, got it out to Bo Tedcastle. Usually pretty good when he's got some space like that.
So Wanderers have worked it quickly around the outer side, and Simpson on the end of it, hand pass, loops a hand pass over the top to McFarlane. He does similarly, looking for Deacon Braun, but the bounce doesn't favour him. Kieran Parnell's in there. And Saints work it out of defence.
Some numbers here.
Yeah.
Hand pass comes into Sean Edwards, running through the centre of the ground now.
Loves
with a couple of bounces.
Edwards.
Comes to the 50, kicks long towards goal. Looks pretty good. It's going all the way. And Saints, as you said, Ricky, had the numbers and worked it well. And Sean Edwards backed himself from outside 50 and kicked long and accurately.
Yeah, he loves that situation, does Sean. We see him do it time and time again. He's a big game player. He had a great game in the NTFL rep side the other week. Rick, you'd agree?
Yep, played very well. Good shepherd by Lant. Could have been a free kick looking at it the second time. But you're right, it's just got energy. I liked his energy afterwards, just trying to lift his team well on him over the line. So that's good, I like that.
His grandparents, Jackie and Stem, here every week, sitting there amongst the Saints fans. And g'day to his dad, Tim, who's watching from Melbourne. So the margin now, Wanderers 64, leading St Mary's 45 at the 9-minute mark of the third quarter.
The Wanderers ruckman forgot
doing
to
up
go
his
up.
boots. I think he was playing with his boots. So Saints get the clearance, but there's that man Newman again.
Oh, he's killed him, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's looking to go directly backwards here, but wants to hand it off to McLean. McLean on the left, kicks down the line. Priest is there.
Pulled, the jumper.
Play on's the call advantage, and now it's Gilbert running inside 50, kicks long, but this one's just sprayed.
It's easy to defend that.
Players on there.
So bounce out of bounds next to the behind post, and a boundary throw in in Saints' left forward pocket.
Need to score here. Saints need a goal quickly.
So Grenfell in the ruck. No Wanderers ruckman. Grenfell grabs it out, has a quick kick towards goal, and Braden McLean let it bounce, but
it bounced. It looked like it was going to go on the wrong end, but he got his hands to it.
Just looking at the Motlop brothers on the bench there, Aaron and Maddie. Their dad, Mark Motlop, one of the greats of NT footy.
Braden McLean hand passes over the top to Newman, but he got some attention after he got rid of the ball, and so Newman will take the free kick.
We'll keep this ball in the forward half here, St Mary's.
Newman drives it wide to the outer side of the ground. That's a good kick, and
it's there. Need to halve that contest. It's got to be either a stoppage over the boundary line, or it's got to be brought back into play. But that ball needed to be halved.
So it's McFarlane again, still racking him up. He's a bit unsure where to go. He goes short in the end to his partner in crime, Sean Manor.
They're not pulling the trigger, Wanderer. Like, they're just control by foot at the moment. They know they've got a decent lead. They don't have to do anything stupid. Wow.
Dre Thompson on the end of that. Plays on and kicks high towards centre half forward. Ball on the ground now. And Ham's in there. Picks up on the left. Chips in, and he hits Paredes. Paredes with quick kick around, and Sean Edwards again on the gallop. Exactly where he was a few moments ago, but he's fumbled the ball this time on the bounce.
Wow.
Gets hit pretty hard, but Jack Lant on the end of it has a shot at goal from 50, but he's dragged that one and just snuck through for a behind.
Yeah, that hurt Sean Edwards. He's still down in the middle there.
3 points in a row, Saints. They just need to convert one or two of them. All of them sort of blazing away. I know Sean Edwards got one of them, but then the next three they've blazed away, and they've just ended up in points.
Oh, gee. I'll have to have a look at that during the week.
Thomas Motlop around the outer side. Kicks the ball down forward of the wing. Simpson picks up, hooks around the corner, goes high towards the boundary line. Underneath that one was the big fella Priest. He's claiming the mark. Kieran Parnell says it was out of bounds, and a
lot of people umpiring down there.
Yeah, there are, except for the blokes that are supposed to be, I think. But we'll
see Edwards up and about there, telling his trainer Alex Bissett that he's okay, but he'll come off for a rest.
So it's going to be a free kick to Dylan Lant. Out of bounds on the full out there, I think. The umpires are still in consultation. No, it's going to be a boundary throw-in, which I thought was the third option that it couldn't have been. It looked like he took it cleanly.
There's a big full moon over there, Stu, maybe.
Yeah.
Not sure what's going on.
So, ball comes back into play. Simpson takes it out of the ruck contest, drives it forward, straight into the lap of Brett Eddy.
Man again, Brett Eddy.
Him and
going off footy a bit, I've just noticed I've pulled that grandstand down.
There's a screen over there, Rick.
I only just noticed that now. Yeah. The grandstand in front of the Wanderers shed, which I've heard Wanderers people weren't very happy about.
It's the Shannon Motlop grandstand, wasn't it? It had a sign over there.
It's been pulled down, and there's now a TV screen.
Yeah, well, it's going to be replaced with a bigger screen.
Yeah,
I hear.
We're going to get the
Rolls Royce.
The Rolls Royce, the Grand Poobah of TV screen.
Eddie, no problems there, straight through the middle, and
goal number 5.
Yeah, it's starting to look a bit dangerous for Saints halfway through this third quarter, but Wanderers have been impressive, and when they go forward, they've been making Saints pay.
Yeah, absolutely. The score now 11-4-70. Wanderers leading St Mary's 6-11-47, and that man Brett Eddy with 5 goals. Ricky Nolan.
Yeah, you can set a game plan around when you've got a gun like that. Just get it in big and deep. He's a big boy.
Great mark.
The midfielders are just so on top through the middle, getting him plenty of supply.
Well, isn't this a turnaround from last week's game?
They are an unbelievable football club, Wanderers. I've seen it so many times where they just look dead and buried, and the next week they come out and fire.
Good news for Saints fan Sean Edwards is walking along the boundary and having a chat to everyone.
Nick Yarran with the clearance down towards half forward. Brenton Motlop uses his body well, takes possession and then hacks it out on the left foot. Nick Yarran again running with the flight of the ball, couldn't take the mark, worried out of it by Sean Manor, who's recovers and kept his feet, but taken over the boundary line by Yarran eventually.
Played all right, Brennan Motlop. A couple of one-on-ones with Payne, and just then again, just one another. That's what you keep thinking of finals footy, you just break it down. You just got to win your one-on-ones, and he's done that quite a few times tonight.
Grenfell and Priest. Grenfell tries to grab it himself, picks it up off the ground. Eventually Gilbert swings the hand pass out to Yarran. Yarran chips it along the wing, close to the boundary line, and Payne underneath it there.
This is free kick.
No, it was out on the full, I think. So Brenton Motlop.
Brenton Motlop's father, close to one of Wanderers' greatest ever coaches, Paul Motlop. Unbelievable coach for the Wanderers Football Club.
Kick down the line here, and Ferreira this time at the back of the pack picks up, hooks it around. Brenton Motlop's in the action again against Payne.
He's winning that battle against Payne, isn't he, at the moment?
Now they're in a position, that's what you just got to do, win those one-on-ones there. It's just get a fist to it, halve the contest, it's a re-stoppage, you set up, slow the play down. It just, to me, they're not, the Wanderers have been playing a fast style of play all game, but now they're just gone into that control, slow, don't let St Mary's score.
Gilbert at the front of the ruck contest there, but his kick was smothered. Ball's loose and hacked forward. Huge leap there by McLean. And he's given away a free kick in going for the ball there. He's arguing the toss there.
I think you probably got to get your hands on it. Yeah. I loved it. Good climb, but you've got to get your hands on it.
That's a good kick inside forward 50 by Yarran. Found Payne on the lead, and he needs to go back for Saints and drill this one to get them back into the contest. They've had plenty of the ball and plenty of scores, but
probably just bombed away.
Yeah,
they saw Sean Edwards bomb away, and then the next four in, I tried to do Sean Edwards type when they just probably had to lower and use a usable going in. He's a quality player, this bloke. He's easily St Mary's best player in the first half of last season. So he just hasn't played, as we're saying, hasn't played for 3 months. Just needs a bit of confidence.
Just chips that one towards goal, and he's hung it out to the right. So
Thomas Motlop's telling him all about it too.
Shots at goals this quarter, and Saints would, in the inside 50, Saints would comfortably be in front.
So Thomas Motlop on the end of the short pass out from the kick in. He switches it wide to the outer side of the ground. Lockie Taylor reaches over the top and punches it out towards the boundary line, and it goes over for a throw in.
Just looking down at the Wanderers bench there, Josh Cabillo and Manor, and they're working the board down there. 17.5 minute mark of the third quarter, and it's Wanderers 70 leading St Mary's 48.
So ruck contest there. Simpson was nudged underneath it, but Dre Thompson with some pace out the back. He has,
breaks the lines, doesn't he?
And now it kicks to a one-on-one down here. Eddie and Clark. Eddie with the ball out in front of him. Clark kept the pressure on. Thompson's in the action again with the ball out in front. Cleverly toes it forward to the advantage of Deacon Braun. Braun switches back inside the corridor. Jack Long doing the defensive work there, and ball on the ground, and now there's a free kick. I think Jack Long got slung off the ball. It's a pretty good effort to sling Jack Long off the ball, but
it's a bloke that's very strong by going past the gym a lot.
So Taylor takes the mark, kicks straight down the corridor. Wilkinson and Newman do battle. Yarran comes in to help, but left the ball behind, and Braden McLean comes in and tidies up for Wanderers, and straight down the middle of the ground to McFarlane once again. He chips it back across to McLean. McLean in the centre square chips it to Thompson. Thompson plays on with a hand pass to McFarlane, and that was just too easy going forward, and Brett Eddy just nudged Raph Clark out the way and took the mark.
Just Braden McLean clean. There's a loose ball comes through, first grabs the footy, hits a target, tracks the footy, gets it back, hits another target, and then you've got a target like, by that stage you've got it to a sort of a launch pad type area, and then you've got a target like this to kick to.
So Eddie Coming in now just over the paint of 50, kicks on the way. It's an absolutely beautiful kick straight through the middle, and another goal to Wanderers, and they stretch that lead, and Eddie's causing him plenty of headaches.
12-4, 76 Wanderers now leading St Mary's 6-12, 48. Rick?
I love watching really good kicks of the footy like that. It's just great to watch someone that, like from 60 metres out or 50 metres out, it's like a normal person kicking the ball 20 metres. They just make it look so easy.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Ken Farmer medal in the SANFL, and I think he comes second twice. So he's obviously a great kick of the footy.
2 goals in each quarter for Brett Eddy, so he's been dominant up forward. And
Darren Ewing's another one, wasn't in his day. You could just watch him kick for goal every day of the week.
He's still running around. I think he
and Banks lost today. If Banks go out straight sets again, oh my God.
He kicked 17 goals last week in Div 1, Darren Ewing.
Priest wins the hit out, but running onto it was Jellyman Turner. Got bundled out of the way by Manor. Jellyman Turner's in there again, and Paredes eventually hacks it forward. Hodgson out in front, Newman out in front, kicked, backed himself, kicked it forward, and McFarlane on the end of this one just paddles it around a bit. McLean comes in to help, but couldn't keep it in play, and another boundary throw in.
Well, speaking of Jack Long, he goes out with Lucy Motlop, who I'm not sure who she's barracking for tonight, a foot in each camp. A sister of Thomas.
The detectives tell him he's pretty keen to get married soon.
You heard it here first, Jack Long.
Paredes with a clever kick inboard. Payne by hand over to Jack Lant, and Jack Lant runs in, finishes beautifully, and that's what they haven't been able to do for a while now. So on the scoreboard again, but you're right, Ricky, before that Saints had kicked 1 goal 4 for the quarter, but get another one on the board.
I think Lance Saints best by an absolute country mile. They've been in a world of hurt without him. He's been really, really good. Good finisher. Yeah, they probably they haven't been poor, and it's not worrying signs for Saints. And I think if they do lose, it's not all doom and gloom, because you can tell they've had plenty of scoring shots, plenty inside 50s.
So 21.5 minute mark of the third quarter. It is Wanderers 12-4, 76, leading St Mary's 7-12, 54.
Priest reaches over the top, wins it down. McFarlane again.
Clearance
straight up the middle of the ground, and almost by accident, Tipalura turned around and found the ball coming straight towards him and took the mark at half forward.
Funny you use that word, almost by accident. I was thinking that ball wasn't even going to him. He just turned around. The next thing, he's got a ball front and centre in front of his head, and that's what happens when things are going your way. That they're just those sort of things pop up and.
So, Tipalura kicked a goal earlier in the quarter. This one a little bit further out. Kicking from about 45. Kicks on the way. Looks pretty good. It's going right to the line.
Short.
And the Saints defenders back there able to punch it over for a behind.
So, Rick, 3/4 time, what will the coaches have to say to their charges, do you think?
Anthony Village, I'll just say, look, we're 20% lift. And, there's a lot of players down, a lot of good players that are really down. So imagine if they just got themselves into the game, turn this around pretty quickly. I like the way Wanderers have gone about this. They just slowed the ball, slowed the game down. Don't have to take chances. They played that manic football the first half, and now they've sort of controlled it a little bit.
You can see Aaron Motlop out there, one of their most experienced players, telling them what to do as Jellyman Turner punches that.
And bounces back up, picks it up himself and drives the ball along the wing here over the back of the pack. McFarlane had about a 10-second rest, I reckon, on the bench, and he's back in the action, but Saints work it out. Nick Yarran kicks it around close to the boundary line, and Brenton Motlop again in the contest sees it over the boundary for a throw-in.
He's done everything you'd want a defender to do tonight, Brenton Motlop, hasn't he?
Just going back to that last entry of Wanderers, they went to Eddie again, which they had about 7 Saints go to him, which there must be free players as well. So probably something as good as Eddie is, he's not going to beat 7 of them, and there has to be other free players. So something Shannon might mention at 3/4 time.
So 3/4 time here at TIO Stadium in Darwin. It is Wanderers 12-5, 77, leading St Mary's 7-12, 54. We'll take a short break and be back for the final quarter very soon.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, If you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Head on in to Kazali's Palmerston Club. Business meetings, coffee breaks, or just unwinding, Kazali's has you covered. It's the perfect spot for a catch-up with friends, with stylish function areas suitable for any occasion. Sensational meals. Our family-friendly bistro has plenty of delicious options. All the latest machines in our modern gaming room. Get around the pool tables and prove your skills. Fancy a flutter? We've got full betting facilities available. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
So we can feel, really feel, together be real, together. No one can stop. No one can stop. Nothing can ever bring me down. Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience. Dedicated sports zones. Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store. Now open at Casuarina Square.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
Three-quarter time here at TIO Stadium, and Wanderers are in control. 12-5-77 leading St Mary's, 7-12-54.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium in Darwin for the final quarter of this qualifying final between St Mary's and Wanderers. It's Wanderers with the lead at the moment, 23 points. Big last quarter coming up, Stu.
Yeah, Wanderers have been impressive tonight. They've come to play, that's for sure. And Buzz Bates gets wrapped up in the tackle. And Jackson Payne in there was the tackler. Grenfell gets the hit down, but Joe Baston Priest read that best. The opposing ruckman got it off to Manor. Manor ducks around one, kicks towards goal now, but he's just dragged that to the left. And
that's a let-off for St Mary's, isn't it?
Certainly is. But
it would have been the worst nightmare, that start like that.
Raf Clark out of defence. Drives it along the wing. Dylan Lant running back with the flight of the ball. How did he keep hold of that and play on? Found Wilkinson going forward now. And Wilkinson in some space takes a bounce and kicks over the top. That's a good kick in the end over the top of Thomas Motlop. Found Ted Castle up tight in the left forward pocket. Looks like he's going to kick round the corner. It's coming high towards goal, but he's just pulled that back too quickly. And so a disappointing finish from what was a pretty promising forward entry.
Well-weighted kick from Wilkinson.
Yeah, I just wondered if he tried to do too much by running on with the bounce when he had players running towards him. But
Nick, knew what he was doing.
Nick Aaron was on inside 40 kick, 5 kick as well.
Sean Manor once again chips across, but misses the target this time. Lockie Taylor coming in against Casemiro, but Ted Castle's worked his way back to the centre of the ground. Finds it some space now to try to thread the needle in between Wanderers players there, but when they got the calibre of Brodie Newman back there, it's going to be hard to do, and he takes another intercept mark.
He's been amazing for Wanderers tonight and this season.
So it's got some numbers here that should win this.
Just slipped out of Jellyman Turner's hands, and Wanderers work it forward. Hand pass comes back inboard but misses the target there. Visor again for Wanderers. Goes backwards to Priest. Priest hacks the ball along the ground forward. Deacon Braun there, but Sean Manor gets it in his hands, chips it wider looking for McFarlane. McFarlane runs onto it now, runs back around, tries to find some space, kicks high towards the goal square. Eddie down there. A few Saints players flying, and Tyler Saunders eventually gets a fist to it and sees it over the boundary line.
Raf Clark looking sore again. He puts his body on the line week in, week out.
McFarlane and Manor, one of their few mistakes, didn't they? Just didn't quite hit a target. Looked like they were about to score again.
Simpson reaches over the top, but down to Long and through the hands, and Jack Lant coming out of defence drills the pass into the chest of Jackson Calder. Calder at half back goes along the wing, but Wanderers are set up behind Wilkinson pretty aggressively over the top there, but McFarlane again on the end of it. Chips it forward. Deacon Braun picks it up on the half volley, gets tackled straight away, and now Hams for Saints drives the ball along the wing, but
this bloke is an absolute superstar.
He's fantastic.
Brodie Newman again.
Harvard.
So ball punched forward there, and tackled without it was Keelan Fijo, and he'll take the free kick. Hands it off to Hodgson.
He's got to man the mark here. Don't let him go with that fast player.
Hodgson straight down the corridor. Jellyman Turner pats the ball in front of himself and then eventually loses control. Picked up by Simpson, back to Priest. Priest on the outside of the foot, kicks it high towards the Brett Eddy direction. Raf Clark in battle with him. Hams eventually comes across to assist, but loses his balance. Clark working hard, gets it back to Hams, and throw's been called.
Yeah.
So it's a Wanderers free kick once again, and it looks like it's going to be Sean Manor this time.
That is going to hurt from that distance out in front of goal.
Yeah, an impressive player, as we've said all night, Ricky, and just his work rate. He gets to where the ball is, doesn't he?
3 years at the Richmond Tigers, 1 year at Werribee, and as I said, he won at Lavington a premiership in the ovens and Murray off his own boot, so he's obviously a big-time finals player, and he's absolutely, their midfield has just impressed me tonight.
So Manor's kick on the way, bangs that one into the goalpost. So
it was, I reckon it was about round 7. Speaking of, I hadn't seen a lot of footy this year, and Gray Morris said, he goes, you should see these Wanderers midfielders, Ricky. They've got some absolute guns.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the year, I can see what Gray Morris was talking about.
So Taylor for St. Sol. Wilkinson uses his body well against Newman this time, takes the mark and went to play on. Got wrapped up by Newman, and it's going to be a ball up. Probably just tried to take on a bit more than he could there.
You know it's not your night when you take a good mark over Newman, who's been starring, and then that sort of happens. So.
Dylan Lant to Paredes. Paredes chips it to half forward. Thomas Motlop works his way to the front against Ted Castle. Ted Castle works back and kicks off the ground. Calder on the left bounces it in towards the goal square. Jackson Payne sees it run past him and bounces through for a behind for Saints.
You see Manning just out of screen. He's just absolutely gut run to the other side where he's going to get it now. Well, that's just hard work. That's just nothing but hard work. He's run from virtually Wanderers half forward line to get that footy.
Chips it across to Hodgson. Hodgson goes straight up the ground. And
here he is again,
Motlop.
running past Motlop. His work rate is just second to none.
Like Jack Geary-like, Rick.
Very similar. I reckon, what's his name? McFarlane reminds me a lot of Geary as well.
So Simpson for Wanderers kicks high into the forward line. Clark and Eddie again do battle. Picked up down there by Jacob Long, gets a hand pass back inboard to Raph Clark, and he chips it out looking for Jellyman Turner. Just goes over his head, but he hacks it out of the air. And now Paredes works Aaron Motlop under the ball and dribbles one along the outer side, but it's chopped off down there by Totham. Totham goes forward to the hand pass to Fijo. Back to Totham. He's caught with the ball this time, and it spills out over the boundary line. That'll be a throw in. So we're 6.5 minutes into this final quarter, and no goals for either side so far, so Wanderers will be pretty happy with that situation, I would think, at the moment. Grenfell takes it out of the ruck and
he's in the shining light for Saints tonight. He's been good,
His
apart from that horrendous kick.
His stats will be interesting when they're released this week. Have you enjoyed the stats this season,
I think
Rick?
they're an absolute joke. Give me a video any day. Cannot stand them. They're an absolute joke.
That wasn't even a setup, that question.
Just who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
So the ball still in play out there. Paredes chips it along looking for Ferreira, but Jack Lance there instead. He chips it inboard to Grenfell. Grenfell goes short, has Dylan Lant running over the top. He's got some space, has a bounce, runs to 50 now, kicks high to the goal square. Working back there, but Brenton Motlop again just puts enough pressure on to worry Jackson Payne out of it and goes through for a behind. Motlop chips out here, and Newman again for Wanderers in the back pocket, just slowing things down, directing traffic, and he's going to kick long down the line. Grenfell underneath this one, bobbles off his head eventually, but there's Sean Manor again on the end of it. Chips into Tipalura out in front of Jacob Long on the lead, and he switches the ball inboard where Motlop's waiting. Jerome Motlop as a free player running through half forward. He chips it over, and Fijo took the mark, tried to play on, no. And Parnell picks up eventually for Saints and runs the ball out of defence with a bounce. He's got a free player on the outer side.
Free Lant.
Yep, Dylan Lant runs to centre half forward now. Kicks long towards goal. It's going close to the goal line. In fact, it goes all the way over. And so a good finish there, and good work by Kieran Parnell to thread the needle and find the player in some space.
So Dylan Lant's first goal of the evening. Brother Jack has kicked two. Clawed one back for St Mary's. The margin 79, Wanderers leading St Mary's 63. Any chance of a Saints comeback, Rick?
Yeah, there's some fair bit of time in it. Yeah, if they've got a couple of centre breaks.
So Josh Cabillo hasn't been on the ground at all in the second half, I don't think. I saw he had his knee heavily strapped after that collision.
Motlop's another one off the field.
Yeah.
Want to put the cue in the rack, so you never know.
Funny game, football.
7, what is it, 3 goals? The time's not an issue.
Yeah.
Matt and Simpson. Simpson hooks this one back, but Saints first with their hands on the ball. Eventually it comes to Gilbert, who evades a couple and gets onto his left foot, but that's not his best kick, and Sean Manor read it beautifully, running back, working hard, and takes the mark.
Thomas might not be on the ground, but he's there on sideline. You probably see him in shot now, telling them all what to do.
So Manor,
probably the tightest pair of shorts out there besides Jellyman Turner's, I think, too.
McFarlane has Casemiro running inboard.
Played right, Casemiro, veteran.
Yeah.
Ex-Saints player as well, but Eddie on this one kicks towards goal.
Oh, wow. Wouldn't have that been a goal? That would have made play of the round.
So Saints quickly bring it in. Parnell to the outer side to Hams. Hams looking for Paredes, bounces in front of him and away from him. He eventually tackles his opponent there, Braden McLean. McLean tackles him back. It's a bit of a wrestle on, and eventually the ball trickles over the boundary line. Right in front of the TIO Stadium scoreboard on the other side.
10.5 minute mark of the final quarter. You're watching AFLNT TV's coverage of the 2021 NTFL finals. 17-point margin.
3 goals in 12 minutes is certainly doable, but have McFarlane and co, have they rotated much? But having a look at them now, don't they? Fitness ain't a problem.
So Bates and Parnell. Parnell gets his fist to the ball, comes over the back. Eddie's waiting there. Hooks around the corner. He hasn't brought this one back far enough. In fact, that's drifted out of bounds on the full.
And Jack Long's made that tackle, but he's clutching his leg.
Looks like it might be hamstring.
You want to go to stats, Liz? That's my favourite stat. Is the inside 50 stat.
Mm-hmm.
And then first touch. If you get the first mark or handball 60% of the time, you can't lose a game of footy. So that's why I'm not a big fan of kicks, marks and handballs. Give me vision from a coaching point of view. Give me vision and give me team stats.
And Jack Long has done his hamstring. He's going to come straight off for St Mary's. In a lot of pain.
Meanwhile, Saints have worked the ball down this wing, and it's out of bounds and a boundary throw in here.
Still got 4 on the bench, haven't they, Saints? So they haven't lost any, so they're still pretty fresh, where Wanderers might have lost a few.
Nick Yarran, Lockie Taylor, Justin Robinson,
mind you,
Brandon
I
Grenfell.
haven't seen Robinson on the ground for a while either, I don't reckon, so I don't know what's happening there. Whether it's just the structure or whether he's got an issue.
Jack Long is coming straight off the ground in a lot of pain.
Throw in now. Simpson in front brings it down. McFarlane tried to bust the tackle but couldn't do so.
Good decision. He had a prior opportunity.
Yeah. So Paredes.
Good tackle, Nathan. Well, that's 50, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly very slow getting it back, and runs,
no one on the mark.
Runs off the mark, and Paredes runs through that gap.
Saints will be interesting.
Kicks high into the forward line. Calder underneath this one. Had a couple of grabs at it, couldn't take the mark, but Dre Thompson has the ball in front of him. He toes it out. He's
carried this young fellow, I reckon.
Yeah.
Just clean Aaron Motlop good.
There he is, Rick.
There he is.
Thomas Motlop.
Going to be quiet in the second half.
Eddie's worked a long way up the ground. He's tackled here by Clark. Got the ball out eventually, and Tottenham's wrapped up in the tackle as well, and he's penalised. Gilbert takes it and takes the advantage, chips it to Paredes. Paredes drags that one out. He's got a couple of players, and just a bit too hard and too low, and they had a couple of players out there that they could have done some damage with, but out of bounds instead.
Last few entries have certainly gone wide, haven't they?
Chewed a bit of time up to 13-minute mark now.
Gilbert running through, left the ball behind, hacked out of the air by Thomas Motlop. Ball on the ground. Grenfell hands it off to Jellyman Turner. Jellyman Turner goes up the corridor, and the ball on the ground now. Sean Edwards with one hand now on the outside of the boot. That's not going to come back far enough, and are behind only. So they've had plenty of opportunities, but 8 goals, 16 probably tells a bit of a story.
Sure does. That score 12-8-80. Wanderers leading. St Mary's 8-16. 64 at the 14-minute mark of the final quarter.
24 scoring shots to 20. I do think Wanderers have played the better footy, but not too far off it, Saints.
Just waiting for Braden McLean now. He wanders out of the square and brings the ball back in. Grenfell over the top, double fists it forward. Jack Land on the bottom of the pack there. But his incorrect disposal according to the umpire, and a Wanderers free kick. And it's McFarlane again, still maintaining that high work rate to get around the ground, get where the footy is, and rack up the touches for Wanderers. Chips this one out towards the wing, slips over the back and over for a boundary throw in. So the throw in right in front of the Wanderers bench down there. You see Matthew Motlop just getting ready to come back on. Grenfell works his opponent under the ball and gets a hand pass across. Ham's kick's smothered but still makes plenty of ground forward. Thomas Motlop in front, leaves it behind. Sean Edwards with some clever footwork toes it forward to Jack Lant, hand passes inboard, looking for Payne. Payne scoops it back to Edwards. Edwards around the corner, but again, he's dragged that one, and might have been another option in the middle of the ground.
Just their attack has sort of attack very wide.
Yeah.
So, of course, the winner of this game will play Nightcliff in semi-final 2 next week. The loser will play Waratah, who defeated Darwin Buffaloes in semi-final 1. They defeated Buffs by 26 points. Today, a good win by Waratah.
Yeah, they're playing good footy at the right time of the year. Though you wouldn't go into a game against them super confident. They've got some good players. They too have got a good midfield and played some pretty good footy. But just thinking of the potential Nightcliff Wanderers matchup of those midfields, Ricky, that'll be fantastic next week if that's the way it pans out.
I'm just thinking that Saints, just so many players have had shots from nearly impossible angles, and I just always talk about footy karma. You know, if just at the start you just start centering a few, then what happens? You puts the karma on your mate to centre a few, and the next thing it's just going through the side. I'm not saying they were ridiculous shots at goals or anything like that, but just there's been so many shots from out wide and out to a pocket. I can't remember of a centering a ball or using a usable going in.
Yep.
And then footy karma, it just goes through the team, that sort of calmness. Something maybe they can think about during the week.
Taylor clears that one down. Newman in front, hooks it down, but Wilkinson worries him out of it. Kicks on the outside of the boot towards the 50. Jackson Payne gets it on the bounce, hand passes out wide, and shot at goal again from out wide, misses, and Jack Lant that time.
So the score, Wanderers 12-8-80, leading St Mary's 8-18, behind 66. Doesn't that tell a tale?
So straight up the corridor this time, Sean Manor takes this one, and
I reckon that word's probably a bit of the story, straight up the corridor. Wanderers just been a little bit straighter.
Deacon Braun out on the grandstand side. Sean Manor working again to get in position, but goes longer down the line. Priest was out in front. McFarlane to Manor. Manor's tackled by Parnell, but gets his hand pass away.
He could nearly kick his friend Eddie, could he?
Free kick after disposal, and Eddie chips inboard, and the marking contest there. Bates works hard. I think he's been wrapped pretty high there, and Lockie Taylor just caught him high. And
I have to say to Eddie, that's a ridiculous kicking the ball to the air to Bates, but then he really marked it.
And a 50-metre penalty.
Oh no!
So
it's a certainty.
Saints didn't need that, and Bates will kick this one, and that'll be.
Doesn't that hurt?
Just about enough, I would think.
And Simon Bates is going to take his time and walk very slowly for his shot on goal.
Certainly lost no speed as he's getting old. He looks like a bit re-energised as a footballer. Bates played very, very well this season and very good today.
Third goal for the evening. He's had a good game, Batesy.
In the crowd there, Joan met him. Great Wanderers supporter and being a treasurer of the footy club for a very, very long time.
Already got a text message off Daryl Window as well. So the score now, Wanderers 86, leading St Mary's 66 at a 20-point margin at the 19-minute mark of the final quarter here at TIO Stadium in Darwin. You're watching AFLNT's coverage of the 2020-21 TIO NTFL final series. So what do you think of Nightcliff this year, Rick? The real deal?
Yeah, I think if I had to jump on someone, I reckon they're travelling well. I think they've only got one fly-in. You don't hear many murmurs coming from there. They're fit, they're organised. I think they're in a. I'm not saying it's theirs yet, but I do think they're in a pretty good position to win a three-peat.
Hodgson across half-back. Got it by hand. McFarlane again. Chips out wide to Aaron Motlop this time.
Leadership's another one with Nightcliff. They've got leaders. I reckon that's huge in football.
Cam Eilert definitely been a revelation down there, hasn't he?
Matthew Motlop chips in short to McFarlane, who actually kicked it to him in the first place, and he handballs inboard, gets it back from Aaron Motlop, and now McFarlane on the left chips it round, looking for Jerome Motlop. Big Grenfell fumbles that one, gets a hand pass inboard, but Manor chops that one off and drills it straight up the corridor looking for Eddie. Deacon Braun on the end of it, got the hand pass forward, but only into the hands of Jacob Long, who wanders off on the outer side, has a bounce, and then kicks into space where Newman's the first there for Wanderers, and he drives it straight back in, but straight back to Jacob Long.
Nick Yarran is down, writhing in pain for St Mary's. I think he might have got a kick to the shin or something, but the trainers are out to him. He's still on the ground.
So Gilbert's kick.
I think Nightcliff, I'd be looking at tagging either Manning or McFarlane. I don't think they can get as much of the footy as they can tonight. I probably would look at a hard, as strong as a midfielder they have, I think I would go defensively on at least one of them, I think.
Sean Edwards just off the side of the boot and out of bounds on the full on the outer side. So.
That's just that attacking wire that we've sort of spoken about.
So Hodgson to bring the ball back into play.
Manning again.
Yeah.
Like that there, just if I was Chris Bucks next week, I'd be cutting a bit of vision and saying that there ain't allowed.
Cue to the Nightcliff Footy Club sitting in the grandstand on the vision.
So Manor plays on across the ground at half-back, chips it in short to Thomas Motlop, and siren goes to end the qualifying final, and a huge turnaround by Wanderers, Ricky.
Yes, the Muck-Mucks, they've done it again, the turnaround. One week they look like boiled lollies, the next week they look like chocolates. But yeah, they've got something to work with, and I still reckon Nightcliff are premiership favourites, but Wanderers are certainly in the mix. And Saints aren't over, they haven't been disgraced tonight. What is about 20 points,
20
and not too far away from it.
Well, Ricky Nolan and Stu Davis, thanks as always for joining us in the commentary box. It was a ripper game. It was Wanderers 13-8-86, defeating St Mary's 8-18-66, and the story of the night, 6 goals to Brett Eddy. Big thanks to everyone for tuning in on AFLN TV's broadcast. My name's Liz Cruz, and we'll catch you all next week.
Full time here at TIO Stadium, and it's St Mary's 8-18-66 to Wanderers 13-8-86. Finals action continues next week here at TIO Stadium, and don't forget, if you haven't already, you can grab a final series pass. This will give you access to all the finals around all the grounds here in Darwin. That includes the TIO NTFL Grand Final in just a few weeks' time. But once again, it is Wanderers victorious over St Mary's here tonight at TIO Stadium. Thanks for coming out, ladies and gentlemen. Drive home safely, and we'll see you next week.